Today we have another Ask D, and the question today comes from my friend Danny, who asks, what do you do when your best clients leave town or move to a new area of the company where they don't have a budget or they don't have a need for your services? Or what happens if they chase their dreams and decide to become a landscape architect instead? Great question. So let's dive into that here on DTV. So what do you do when you're a champion in an organization, when the person who loves you and is totally cool with bringing you in for projects and paying you for your services? What happens when they no longer have influence, either because they've moved out of the organization completely or just into another part of the organization? What do you do? Well, the first thing you do is you curse the gods. And you're like, why? Because this is going to make your life a lot harder. You've invested in that person. You've invested in some relationship capital, and you can't leverage that anymore. So there's a couple things you can do after the fact. One thing you can definitely do is ask for an introduction. If they're leaving the company or moving to another part of the organization, you can ask, hey, I really love the relationship there we go, that we've built over time. I know that you're bringing somebody new in. Would you feel comfortable introducing me to your replacements? That can actually help kind of move that new relationship along a little bit. The other thing you can do is ask them for referrals, maybe even outside. Are you kidding me? They gotta work on the lawn right now next door. Whatever, we're gonna keep going. So you can ask for an introduction. You can say, hey, I love the work that we've been doing. You know, you are the perfect client. Your company's a perfect client. Do you know any other parts of the organization, or do you know somebody else in a different organization that would be able to help? More importantly, I think it's really important to be proactive about the way your client roster is set up. This is important for small business owners, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, salespeople. It's important to look at kind of how your revenue is broken down among the different clients you have. And it's important to look before that champion leaves, before that big client leaves, look at the breakdown of your client list and go, do I have any big gorillas here? Something that I've always done in my business is I've looked and said to myself, are there any clients that if they left, my business would be in trouble? Not if they left would things be lean. That's okay, that happens. But it's, hey, do I have all of my eggs in one basket? Because it's very normal for us to, and in that situation, actually keep putting more and more eggs into that basket because, hey, we've got a great relationship, we're doing great business, revenue's coming from that source. Let's spend all of our time and energy on that client. And this sounds a little counterintuitive, whenever you get that big gorilla, maybe they're doing 60, 70% of your business, maybe even more, that's exactly when you need to start planting some seeds. You need to start looking around at some other options, maybe do some more prospecting, bring in some additional business, maybe not to compete with that client that's already doing 60 to 70% of your revenue. But in case that big client leaves, you've already got to start at some new revenue sources. And that's a really important thing to do. And again, it's tough when you're wrapped up in getting a lot of your money from one or two big clients, but you've got to, in this day and age, kind of make sure that you've got some multiple sources, some multiple channels of opportunity. So those are some ideas of what you can do if you lose that champion, but also, again, be really proactive and just do a quick audit of your revenue streams. Instead, if you're a small business person, if you're a solopreneur, if you're a salesperson, and that will actually save you from getting into a bad situation to begin with. There you go, Danny. I hope that helps you a bit. And if you have any other suggestions for how to deal with losing a champion or losing a big client, go ahead and throw those in the comments below. Also, throw your questions that I can answer down in the comments below, or hit me up on Twitter at DFishRockstar. I would love to answer your questions. And I'll see you next time on DTV.